Music NFTs continue to increase in popularity. There are more platforms emerging, there are more Twitter mentions, there are more Google search results every single day. About a year ago, music NFTs were hardly being discussed, and now they're at the forefront of everybody's mind. Because music NFTs continue to increase in popularity so rapidly, today I want to take a high-level view of exactly what the music NFT landscape looks like, what they are, why they're important, how to get involved, and some best practices to think about when you do start actually minting and selling your own music NFTs. Now, if you're new here, my name's Tom, and on this channel, we talk about music marketing, branding, NFTs, and more. Everything we need to know to move from making music as a hobby to making music as a business. About a year ago, I made my first video about music NFTs, and it did fairly well, but there weren't a whole lot of other videos out there, so I will chalk some of the success of it up to that. But now fast forward to today, and music NFTs are being talked about by kind of everybody. So first things first, what are music NFTs? And also, why do they matter? Music NFTs, the way I kind of think about it, they're kind of like the new vinyl. They're a collector's item. We can listen to as many songs as we want to on Spotify and the like, but if we really want to support an artist and we really want to own a piece of their work with a timestamp in history, we might think about buying the vinyl. And NFTs are kind of the same. The only difference is there's no physical footprint, right? It's all digital. But it's the same methodology. You can buy a limited edition of this song from an artist that you like and appreciate and want to support, and then you have that ownership, that proof of ownership of that actual item that then maybe one day you might decide you want to flip for a profit, especially if that artist blows up. It's kind of twofold. You can become a patron for the artist who you want to support. You can give money to them to help them further their craft. And you also have an investment that hopefully will appreciate in value. And if you have good taste and you're right, and this artist does better over time, then your investment goes up over time too. And you can use that investment either to turn a profit or hang on to it for as long as you want to. Now, this matters from the fan perspective because you can take a piece of ownership of this artist's trajectory. If you really believe in an artist and you really love an artist and you want to support them, then you're kind of putting some skin in the game and staking your own money that hopefully they will increase in value and your investment will increase in value as well. And as an artist, this matters because it gives us a way to incentivize our fans and our listeners to support us in a way that gives them some potential financial upside as well. So ultimately, this is kind of a win-win scenario for everybody with much lower overhead. There's much lower overhead, most specifically because there's no physical item. It's all digital. So our ability as artists to create a limited edition version of our song is relatively simple compared to pressing vinyl, getting enough orders to justify the bulk upfront order, and all the things that come along with physical merchandise. So it's an easier access point for artists, and it's an easier access point for fans and listeners. So everybody kind of wins. Now, it should be said that obviously every artist you invest into and every NFT that you make as an artist is not guaranteed to work. So you may invest in artists, you may invest in songs that go to zero. In fact, most projects are probably going to go to zero. But this is sort of where you being shrewd as either a music consumer or an investor comes into play. And you can make up your own mind about what you think is going to do well, both as a listener and consumer and investor, and as an artist, being thoughtful about the work that you put out and the work that you ultimately turn into NFTs. So if you decide you want to get into music NFTs, which I recommend that every artist at least give it a shot. I recommend you start on a blockchain that has low or no fees, something like Flow or Solana, which we'll get into in just a second. Give it a chance. Try making your own NFTs, see what happens, at least play around with it, because the only way you're really going to learn is by doing. Because unless you jump into the deep end of the pool, you're not going to fully understand how it works, and you're not going to fully appreciate the power that it has potentially for you as an artist and for your fans. So let's say you want to get started with making your very own music NFTs. So now the question becomes, well, how? Where do I go? What do I do? The fortunate/unfortunate part of this is there are a lot of options to do this. There are multiple blockchains where you can get started, multiple wallets, and multiple platforms on every single one of them where you can get going with NFTs. So how do you choose? Well, play around with them. I would download the MetaMask wallet. I would download Phantom wallet. I would download the Blockto wallet for Flow, and I would start playing around with stuff. You can check out some platforms on Ethereum like Sound XYZ and Catalog Works. You can check out platforms on Polygon like Mint Songs. You can check out platforms on Flow like Fanfare, which is one of my personal favorites. And then you can check out stuff on Solana like the Holoplex platform, where you can actually build your own NFT store and you can upload any kind of NFT you want to and put it up for sale or for auction. And these are all ways you can sort of get going with your own music NFTs. But the best way to do this is to just start somewhere. Test the waters, try different things, because until you test and try different things, you're really not going to know which one you like the best. And ultimately, you really just want to lean into the one that you like the best. So now we have an understanding of what music NFTs are, why they matter, and we have some options for some places to get started. But how do we think about scarcity and strategy when it comes to making NFTs? If we make 1,000 NFTs on Ethereum, 1,000 NFTs on Polygon, 1,000 NFTs on Flow, and 1,000 on Solana, then that kind of devalues the scarcity of these things and it makes them less desirable, right? But how do we go about it if we want to test multiple things? Well, first of all, I will say I am doing a lot of the testing potentially for you here on this channel, making NFTs across a whole bunch of different places, and am going to continue making videos about my experience in setting up and creating profiles and accounts and minting things on a bunch of different platforms so that you can learn from what I do, use me as your guinea pig, and then make up your own mind about which one you want to pursue first. But my argument is we should lean into scarcity over abundance when it comes to music NFTs, because any good collector's item really only has value if it's one of a few, especially if it's one of one. Because it's rare, it's more valuable. And we want to lean into that with our music as well. So if you're going to test multiple platforms, which I do recommend you do, I would limit the number of NFTs that you make on any given platform. So if you wanted to mint multiple copies of a song on something like Fanfare, then I might limit it to 10, 20, 30, maybe 50 or less copies of that song. That way, if you want to go try mint songs on Polygon, maybe you only mint 10 or 20 of the same song there. So if you've got 10 on Flow and 10 on Polygon, now you've got a total of 20. Still very scarce, but still multiple copies so you can try things out. You can also think about doing one-of-ones. You could take the song and alter the cover art, maybe animate it, maybe do something cool, maybe make it a video, and then make that a one-of-one and decide where you want to drop that one-of-one. You could try to do one-of-ones on individual blockchains, so you've got a one-of-one on each blockchain. I think that would be totally cool. Or you could just do a single one-of-one on your blockchain of choice after you have tested all these multiple avenues. But at the end of the day, you've got to make up your own mind about how you want to test and try things in this space. Now, before we sign off from this video, I do want to leave you with one thought. A ton of these platforms that are out right now are not going to be around in 5 to 10 years. So we really don't know which one we should invest all of our time into. Some blockchains that are out right now are not going to be around in 5 to 10 years. That's just the way that it goes. But just like you have an account on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and wherever else, you've also had accounts on a bunch of different stuff that has gone under. It pays to test all the different options, at least the ones that you think are cool and worth your time. So don't be afraid to get out there and try stuff. Don't be afraid to mint multiple copies of NFTs across things, but always have in the back of your mind, try to keep it scarce, try to keep it high quality, high value, low quantity. That way you incentivize people investing into what you do. Now, if you have questions about this, make sure to hit me up in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on music NFTs. You can also DM me on Instagram or shoot me an email if you really want to get into it. Before I let you go, if you don't subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And at the end here, got a couple other videos you can check out. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.